All right, what's going on, everybody? All is well. So, you know, Netflix first announced that they were gonna put in a bid to buy Warner Bros. For $83 billion, but then Paramount came out and said, "Hey, we gonna attempt a hostile takeover, and we gonna put in a bid to buy Warner Bros. For $108 billion." So now, Netflix and Paramount Plus, they're going back and forth for the rights to acquire Warner Bros. And shortly, we're gonna hear what Paramount CEO has to say, what his take is on the whole um deal and whatnot to acquire Warner Bros. But let's look at Netflix stock price, because right now, as a long-term investor, I keep saying this: when we see quality companies at a discounted price, that's just another buying opportunity. And because of this back and forth with Paramount, Netflix stock price right now is sitting at $96 per share. Keep in mind, they just had a 10-to-1 stock split. The 52 high is 134 with the stock split in effect. So, what did I keep saying? We love quality companies at a discounted price, and right now Netflix is on sale. Yep, Netflix, the stock is on sale, and ultimately, long term, whether Netflix acquire the rights to buy Warner Bros. Or not, Netflix is gonna be fine. I think Netflix is gonna be just fine long term. They already got proven track record. They got quality shows and movies. Now, personally, I would like them to acquire Warner Bros. Because Netflix is not a, is not subsidized by anything. Netflix, this is what they do. They're strictly a streaming platform. You look at Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is subsidized by Amazon Web Services. You look at Disney Plus. Disney Plus is subsidized by the Disney parks. So Netflix, this is what they do, and you could look at also Apple TV. Apple TV is subsidized by Apple and their sales of cell phones and whatnot. You see, but um now I would like Netflix to acquire Warner Bros. Now on the other side, me personally, Warner Bros. Paramount Plus acquiring Warner Bros. I don't mind that either. Why? Because the UFC just have a deal with Paramount. So starting next year, all the UFC pay per views gonna be on Paramount Plus. I'm a huge UFC fan, so by default, I'll be subscribing to Paramount Plus just to watch the UFC fights. The same thing I did with ESPN. You know, so me personally, either way, it's a win-win situation for me. But we'll see how this one plays out. But I just want to point that out, that amount among this back and forth with the rights to buy Warner Bros. This is actually a buying opportunity for Netflix. It's a quality company. It's at a discounted price, and you can't go wrong with that. If you like Netflix when it was at like 112, you gotta love it under $100, $96 per share. Yep, and that's a deal right there. And let's look at Paramount stock. All right, right now Paramount Skydance is going for $14 per share. I never really looked up Paramount. Let's go 5 years out. So 5 years out, they're up 34%. 1 year out, they're up 20%. Year to date, 20. 6 months out, 20. Uh, the past month is down 7%. Past 5 days, down 10%. So yeah, but me personally, like I said, I'm rocking with Netflix long term. You know. So all right, let's get into the CEO of Paramount and hear what he has to say.
Right, it's in the within the collar. It's worth at least $350 a share to the deal. I mean, saying our cash versus theirs doesn't seem a fair comparison, David.
So probably respectfully, I disagree. I mean, look, those shareholders can basically go buy Netflix Netflix stock in the open market if they want to, and they're going to be sitting there with a linear stub that's valued at $1 a share, which is a business that's in secular decline. That without the synergies that's basically created by our deal, they will ultimately be holding something that is not worth anything. By every metric you can look at, we believe that our offer is superior to shareholders.
Right. And again, we're going to get a lot of debate around the value of that stub because even though it's an incremental, let's call it.
Now, keep in mind, whether he truly believes that his deal is better or not compared to Netflix deal, he can't outright say that. So of course, as the CEO of Paramount, he's gonna come out and say, "Hey, we got a better deal, such and such and such." Because the company's best interest is to appease the shareholders. They're gonna do whatever it takes to make sure they're returning value to the shareholders of that particular company. So of course he's gonna come out and say, "Yeah, our deal is better than Netflix." All right.
Difference of a $2, it can go to the value judgment. Let me ask you about Paramount, though. If in fact you are successful here, you're taking on a lot of debt, right? I mean, and you're diluting your own shareholders significantly through an inclusion of what, $41 billion in equity. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, but look, we're the largest shareholder of basically the Paramount Class B common stock.
We being
the Ellison family. We will also be the largest investor in this deal. We're literally sitting here today because we are fighting for our shareholders, and we're also fighting for the shareholders of Warner Brothers Discovery. And from that standpoint, this deal is accretive to our shareholders. When you look at what the combined business would be with the synergies that you put through it, round numbers, $70 billion in top line revenue. We get to $16 billion in EBITDA very quickly, and it generates $10 billion in cash flow. What we're creating by putting these two companies together is a real competitor to Netflix, a real competitor to Amazon, a real competitor to Disney, not something that is so anti-competitive. There will be no more competition in Hollywood if this deal is allowed to come to pass.
Is it an existential issue for you, though, if you don't succeed here, David?
Look, as we've said on our earnings call, we believe in our standalone business. We have a great plan. But very simply, we made the highest offer for the company. $30 in cash is more than 23.
Right. But when it comes to Paramount itself, if you aren't successful here, you have confidence that you still have the scale? I mean, we've had this conversation before. No. I would assume that you're going to try and figure something else out because there is a sense that you don't have the scale to compete in this world.
As we've said, we can absolutely, this is a buy versus build. We absolutely have a path to be able to build. But again, when we actually sit here today, having put forth the most value for shareholders for Warner Brothers Discovery, we believe that they
$108 billion bid to buy the Warner Bros. Library. It's a big bid, man. It's insane. It's crazy. So this gotta turn a profit for Paramount. Absolutely. So essentially, it seems like they're throwing like a Hail Mary, but if this goes south, man, all right, let's say this. Hypothetically speaking, hypothetical. Let's just say Paramount acquires Warner Bros. $108 billion, and they don't turn a profit. Who's to say Netflix down the road would come back around and say, "Hey, man, I know a couple of years back we wanted to buy Warner Bros. For $83 billion. Well, now we gonna offer $40 billion because you guys look like you're struggling over there. So this deal, if it goes through, Paramount got hit it out of the park, and we'll see what happens. We'll see, man. Now it's like, I kind of want Paramount. I kind of want Paramount to get Warner Bros. To see what they're gonna do with that library. Because keep in mind, although yes, I'm an investor in Netflix, I believe in the company. Competition is good. Competition is good. It keeps everybody on their toes, and it keeps people motivated to continue to improve and do better, and not just get lazy or stay stagnant or rest on their laurels. So competition is good. So we'll see how this whole deal plays out.
They need to be able to evaluate that offer, and that's why we're taking it directly to the shareholders.
I asked you about the president, but I'd love to come back to that. I mean, do you sense that he is in your corner here?
What I would say is I'm incredibly grateful for the relationship that I have with the president, and I also believe he believes in competition. And when you fundamentally look at the marketplace, allowing the #1 streaming service to combine with the #3 streaming service is anti-competitive. And this whole notion of category ambiguity, forgive me, David, you've been doing this a long time.
Yes, I have.
Like, I don't buy it.
You don't buy it. In other words, their argument, John Malone made this argument with me, it's not about streamers, it's about TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
I'm sorry, let's follow that analogy for a second, right? Okay? That's like saying Coke can buy Pepsi, that they're both beverages because Budweiser is a substitute for Coke. That's not a realistic argument. Now let's actually look at it from the talent community. The greatest showrunners in the world, David Benioff is not going to take the next Game of Thrones to basically TikTok or to Instagram. They're going to take it to Netflix. They're going to take it to Amazon. They're going to take it to Apple. They're going to take it to HBO Max. They're going to take it to Paramount Plus. That's not actually how the ecosystem works. If this deal is allowed to come to pass, it is anti-competitive, and it is a horrible deal for Hollywood. And as someone who spent the last 15 years of my life producing movies and television shows, this is an industry that I love. This is an existential moment for our business, and we believe that what we are offering is better for Hollywood, it's better for the customers, and it's pro-competitive.
All right, so there you have it. Yeah, man. We'll see. We'll see how this one shakes up. But with that being said, I'm keeping my eye out on Netflix, man. It's looking from a stock price perspective, it's under $100. It's looking very attractive right now. But with this whole deal, we'll see how it plays out. We'll just wait and see, man. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Until next time, you guys be safe and enjoy the rest of your day. All right, peace.